All right, good afternoon, good evening rather. We had a question about how to graph on Google Sheets. So I figured I would try to give you guys a walkthrough on that. So you have to get some data. And if you have kids in elementary school, you eventually have to do some kind of a report and get some data. I like the CIA fact book. So it's www.cia.gov. And then do a search for World Fact Book. Okay, so my favorite place to go is like country by country comparison. So I go here, and then there's all sorts of things that you can look up about different countries in the world. Uh, I picked energy. What the heck? Why not? Just kind of at random. And I happen to pick nuclear fuels. So how much energy does a country make? What percentage of total capacity is generated from nuclear fuels for them? And I figured, well, I'm going to take, what did I pick? I think I picked the first 20. I think I picked the top 20. So I just cut and paste these things. So I just did a Control C. I went over to my Google Sheets and I just pasted this in here. So I just did the top 20. This is percent of nuclear fuel that they have, right? And percent fuel from nuclear power. So what we're going to try to do here is we're going to make a little histogram for us, all right? So they will tell you, right, and the book tells you, it says you will have like 5 classes, you will have 8 classes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say we're going to take the biggest number, okay, and the smallest number, that was 6, and we'll just take the difference between them. So we'll just say plus this guy minus this guy, and we have 44. And then how many classes do you want to make? How big do you want to make these? Let's go with 8. I've just decided 8 was the appropriate number. There's no good, actually I think that's too many, but I wanted to do more than 5, so we'll just do 8. Okay, and again, the book will generally tell you, you shall use 8. So I'm just going to go with plus 44 divided by 8. Every time in a spreadsheet you want to do a calculation, they always want you to do a formula. So a lot of people, you could use equals 44 divided by 8, okay, or plus 44 divided by 8, and then it'll do the calculation for you. Okay, so right here it's telling me that bin sizes are 5.5. I'm not going to do 5.5 with numbers like this. I've got 11 and 17 and 18. I'm just going to call I'm going to call that 6. Okay, so for my lower class limit, what's the smallest number I got sitting here? 6. And then this is going to round up to 6. So all I'm going to do is say plus 6 plus the value above it. Okay, and then if I do a Control C, right, and copy that formula down, all it's doing is it's adding 6 to the next value I have there. Okay, so that's how we're doing that. Okay, so this is going to go from 6 to 11, right? This is going to be 12 to 17, and it's going to go 18 to 23. It's going to go 24 to 29. I'm just taking -1 of whatever the next class is. 30 to 35. Okay. 36 to 41, 42 to 47, and 48 to 53. Okay, and that'll be our classes. Okay, so here we have our lower class limit, right? You can go back and look at that, and it's LCL. That's our lower class limit. This is our upper class limit, remembering all the vocabulary. One thing else we might want to do is figure out the midpoint between these two. So let's go ahead and average the two values. So that's going to be plus 6 plus 11. Actually, I need some parentheses here. So we're going to do plus 6 plus, just using the mouse button to go over that, and then divide it by 2. And I should get a number somewhere between 6 and 11. And I'm just going to take, and again, I'm going to copy this and paste it to that range, right? And all of these are the numbers that are halfway between, right? All of this. Okay, and this is my midpoint. Okay, that's my class midpoint. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, here's our frequency. okay, frequency. And all I'm going to do is, okay, how many times did I have something happen between 6 and 11? Now, there's something clever you can do with count ifs. I'm not going to worry about doing that right now. But you see this little button down here? It says count. You could get an average. You could get the sum. You could get the min or the max of these things. I just wanted to count. Okay, so there's 8 things between 6 and 11. So I'm just going to write down 8. And then when I go up to 12, 12 to 17, 1. Okay. And then 18 to 23, inclusive, right? It's 18 to 23. And again, there's 8 of those things. Okay. Let's see, from 24 to 29, looks like 2. Okay. I don't have anything in the 30s, so that's a 0. Let's get out of that. So that's a 0. Okay. 36 to 41, we don't have any of those, so that's a 0. Again. Okay. 42 to 47, 0 again. And 48 to 53, there's 1. Okay. So that is my frequency. If I wanted to make a relative frequency, right, what's the total number of things I have here? Okay. Instead of doing count, I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say, what's the sum? There's 20. We knew there was 20 anyway because we could come over here and say there's 20 values. And then we would just say plus 8 divided by 20. Or sorry, I don't want to do plus 8. I want to do plus that place divided by 20. And then we could just, again, copy this and paste it. Okay. I'm not going to do a relative frequency because we have only 20 items. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I'm going to get rid of these because it just wouldn't make any sense to do that. Okay. So I've got my midpoints right over here, and I've got my frequencies. Okay. And now we can go ahead and make a graph. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to insert. Okay. I'm going to insert a chart. And we have a bunch of things to worry about here. All right, we have a column. We have what kind of a chart do you want? And they have all sorts of different types. We're going to stick with the first one they gave us. They gave us a column chart. I'm not going to worry about trying to stack it. I'm not going to try to worry about doing a lot of this stuff. Okay, I want to add a series. Okay, so let's select a range. And now this is all going to be a pain because the thing I want to do is hidden, and we have to scroll around for it. And I will be honest with you, this will take a little bit, okay? The idea here is going to take a bit. All right, so look at this. It actually gave us, we don't have any axes or anything like that. We have a pretty plain graph here. But the series that we gave it, I told it, use that as my count, and it made a little bar graph for me. Now, Google Sheets does not allow you to change the size of these rectangles. I checked, and so we're stuck with what we have here. Okay. Let's see, with an x-axis, I want to make a range. So we're going to go ahead and click this little data range here, and I want to get my midpoint. Okay, and the midpoints are going to be the values that I'm going to put. No, that's not right. All right. XX. Let's see. I wanted to get rid of the G's. Let's go ahead and remove that. It's going to take a little bit. Okay. It's going to. There we go. X-axis. What I did was I went to X-axis and I just selected the range that I had previously selected. And you see, it put the little midpoint underneath that we have here, underneath my columns. Okay. So we're almost done. This is effectively your graph is done. But you never want to turn something in that looks quite like this. I mean, nobody knows what the heck this graph is. So we could go ahead and edit it. Okay. And let's see here. Can we do some setups here? If I push me out of the way. Customize. Let's go with chart axis and titles. Chart title. Let's go ahead and do that and say something like, percent of nuclear power. Okay, let's go ahead and see, and it gave me a little title there. Let's see if I give it, no, we don't want to do any of that. So yeah, after this, there's a lot of horizontal axis. That's what I want. See, can I give it? I don't know if I can give it a title here. I may not be able to give it a title. Okay, so let's not worry about giving it a title, because we could just do the values here. Okay, we could go back to our chart title or axis titles, and we could just say, you know, yeah, percent nuclear power versus number of countries. Okay. So I understand that graphing in Excel, graphing in Google Sheets is not the easiest thing in the world. It gets easier the more you do it. So I will tell you that. But the first time you do this, it's really a complicated issue. The learning curve for doing this is pretty steep. So if you're not getting it the first time off, that's to be expected. But the more you do it, the easier it does get. Okay, you don't have to fish around for so many things so often. But so maybe that'll help you graph some things in this class. Maybe if you have a little one that's doing reports for their school, right? There's ways to get your data if you need data, and you can make little bar graphs and help them out for their reports that they have to deal with. Or by the time you're done, they're probably going to be telling you how to do it. So that's how you do that. Okay, so that's how you make a bar graph or how you make a histogram. I love making these little things for you. I hope they're helpful. So if you have more, please ask me, and I'll do my best to put something up for you guys. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye.